Hello and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Siambo. The headlines tonight: doctors oppose voluntarism call from Minister of Health. Socialist Party accuse the UPND of instigating the withdrawal of the UPP candidate in KABWATA. NDC says poaching party members from the alliance partners should not be condoned. In international news, Ethiopia announces pardons for high-profile political prisoners. And in sports news, Camnet Sports Academy kicks off with over 60 lads selected.
Tell your mother, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Christmas. To all our Camnet TV viewers, you have been a blessing. The Healing Word Ministries International, the church that my wife and I pastor, you are just phenomenal. May the Lord bless you in 2022.
For the Lord to allow us to enter into 2022 by His special grace, we can only say, Lord, we thank you for your mercies and grace. We've gone through a lot of things in 2021, but God has given us a fresh start, a brand new day. We are entering it with the right footing and putting God ahead of us, knowing that it's by His mercies and grace. We know that we cannot do it without Him. Personally, my husband and I, we cannot do anything without the Lord. We refuse to take Him for granted or think we are any more special than all of you people. May God bless you, Camnet TV viewers. You are just the best. God bless you, world. God bless you, Healing Word Ministries. We love you. And keep watching Camnet TV, because Camnet TV is not just another channel.
You were born
for greatness.
For greatness.
Hello once again, another news in detail. Chikondi Trust Foundation President Bishop John Mambo says the church should step up in trying to find permanent solutions to the problem of cadaverism in the country, adding that there is no much difference between now and the previous regime. In an interview, Bishop Mambo notes that while the message from the head of state since assuming office in August 2021 has been to put an end to the vice, the same has continued with cadres from various political parties, causing violence and intimidating citizens in various setups. He states that the country should focus on bettering the economy, adding that the problem of cadres should be a bygone problem, especially in the new administration, as it is on record accusing the previous regime of handling the matter casually. More in this report.
Continued reports of citizen harassment and violence by political party cadres have worried the Lusaka-based clergyman Bishop John Mambo, who has called for the approach of handling the problem of cadaverism to be relooked at under the new regime, if to have effective results. In an interview, Bishop Mambo, who is also Chikondi Trust Foundation President, notes that the country witnessed a lot of bloodshed prior to the 12th August 2021 general elections, adding that the country now expects to see change. He has called on the church to play their role by speaking against this vice, as well as inculcating moral values in youths, stating that they are majority of perpetrators.
We should be the one to teach that cadre who's in my church, who's in my family, who's my son, who's my daughter, to say it's not taking us anywhere. We know that the youth in numbers, they are in a hurry to get employment. The new Dawn government budget kicks off in January. Even to see the effects, I'm not an economist, it will take a bit of time. You don't have a wife today and then tomorrow there's a baby. It doesn't work that way. But my appeal is that let us raise our standard over the bar. The world now is looking at Zambia as a very peaceful country when it comes to transferring of power. But it should not end there. I think the reason why some of us are quiet now is that the president gave one assurance. Let's embrace each other. Let's love one another. The only thing that I can talk now is go around and tell others and say, look, we are one, created in the image of Christ.
Bishop Mambo further says the duty that lies on the United Party for National Development UPND administration is huge, as people expect to see change under the new administration. The clergyman says the focus of the country should be on boosting the economy, unlike on ending cadaverism, stating that it should be stopped once and for all.
Can you imagine you have a by-election in KABWATA during the festival season and you find people making very serious pronouncements in a Christian nation? Because as for Zambia, we should be a beacon of hope. First and foremost, we must know that We are a Christian nation, declared. That's what we are celebrating the other day. And everyone, regardless of the party, that have been accepted. On top of that, democracy means that it's a government of the people, by the people, for the people. It's not for party A, party B, and so forth. For me, I know now that HH is in State House. He is the president of all Zambia. Those who voted for him and those who not.
Many stakeholders have been calling on political parties to ensure that their youth are registered in cooperatives so as to benefit from the new Ministry of Small Medium Enterprises Development as one way of diverting their focus from unproductive vices. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia has called for an overhaul of the National Health Management Insurance Authority, NEMA, stating that its operations have been below par. In an interview, Union General Secretary Mr. Makai says the latest Auditor General's report has further exposed irregularities at the authority, indicating that the authority spent about 16 million kwacha on an information and communication technology ICT program that failed to take off at the expense of the beneficiaries' welfare. He has also urged all unions in the civil service to amalgamate, stating that the high number of unions has made it hard for the civil service to have a strong voice on the bargaining table. More in this report.
The National Health Insurance Management Authority, NEMA, while having a well-intended purpose, has come under a lot of scandals based on alleged inefficiency. These range from the lack of medicine in various service hospitals to alleged mismanagement of funds, as indicated in the Auditor General's report for the financial year that ended December 31st, 2020. According to the said report on the accounts for parastatal bodies, over 16 million kwacha was mismanaged on the establishment of information and communication technology systems ICTs from one system to another without proper communication. This has angered the Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia, SAWUZ, who have called for an overhaul at the authority. SAWUZ General Secretary Mr. Makai was speaking to Camnet News.
That is public service workers' money, which is meant to uplift and change their healthy status. But if management can go ahead and implement programs which are not even sustainable, within a year they change, that was very disappointing. And we call upon the government and especially the ministry where NEMA falls to disband the management of National Health Insurance Authority. A lot of our members are complaining that when they go to get a service from these NEMA-accredited hospitals, if it is the wife who is sick, NEMA will demand for a marriage certificate. If it is a child who is sick, NEMA will demand for a birth certificate. Now, we get appalled and get annoyed that the Auditor General's report exposes such irregularities and mismanagement in the finances, which we as workers in this country contribute towards that scheme. So we're very disappointed and we are not happy with what is happening there.
Mr. Makai has also advised unions in the civil service to consider amalgamating in order to have a strong voice.
If we have so many unions, is our bargaining power going to be as strong as if we had only one union? We are seeing a situation in this country where every sector they want to come up with their own union. Very soon we shall have drivers with their own union, officers with their own unions, clinical officers with their own unions, nurses with their own unions. Where are we going? The question the workers should ask themselves is, the more unions we have, are we going to get any benefit from that? For me, if you ask me as a worker, as a government worker, the best we could do is to come up with one strong voice where we could demand something from government, and government will bend, or the employer will bend and give us what we demand.
He has further urged highly indebted civil servants to consider joining the available savings and credit cooperative to learn how to save. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia Medical Association, ZMA, has noted with alarm what it terms as rhetoric from Ministry of Health officials that appears to ask trained doctors to volunteer their skills in government facilities without salaries and with no clear roadmap to fair and reasonable employment. Further, ZMA is dismayed to hear government's proposal to engage the punitive approach of prioritizing for employment those who agree to volunteer in government facilities, even over those who have been waiting for much longer. ZMA Secretary General Dr. Kaumba Tolopo says this move functionally strong-arms doctors into offering their services for free and potentially paving the way for a system in which government is not obliged to pay doctors for their work. He notes that Zambia currently has close to 700 medical doctors and dental surgeons who have been waiting employment for almost 2 years, adding that ZMA finds the expectation that these professionals should now be expected to work and risk their lives without the reasonable protection unreasonable. Dr. Tolopo says ZMA does not accept the notion of subjecting its members to free labor. ZMA has since urged its members to desist from bowing to exploitation attempts and simultaneously appealing to government to expedite the process of promotions and recruitment of healthcare professionals to address the huge human resource deficit in the health delivery. The Mwenya Musenge-led National Democratic Congress, NDC, has charged that poaching alliance members by the ruling United Party for National Development is weakening the alliance partners. Addressing the media Saturday, party president Mwenya Musenge says the NDC is concerned about the UPND fishing members within the alliance, adding that if left unchecked, this will create a lot of confusion and is against what the initial agreement was. He says allowing members to easily shift camp will discourage the members and create tension among other alliance members. Meanwhile, Mr. Musenge has disputed claims that the members who joined the UPND have tagged along the entire governing committee, adding that the 60 members are intact. Last week, NDC National Chairperson Father Richard Luwonde defected to the UPND, citing poor leadership in the NDC.
Could begin fishing from the alliance party's ports. We feel that will create a lot of confusion and that cannot be allowed to continue. And this was agreed upon, that this matter, this will not recur in the future. Those purported 10 masqueraders now serve as a lesson to all alliance partners that no alliance members should be allowed to trot from one alliance partner to another, because this would compromise the integrity of the alliance, discourage members, create unnecessary confusions, and send wrong signals to the general populace of the country. So this is the position that was agreed upon in the meeting that we had with our colleagues. Otherwise, we have no ill feelings against our colleagues that who decided to move on. They moved on last year, and we have continued with our programs. And I want to clarify once again, we have noticed in the media misinformation that 50% of the National Governing Committee of NDC has defected to UPND. That is not the position.
Socialist Party Vice President Dr. Cosmas Musumali has accused the United Party for National Development, UPND, of having engineered the withdrawal of United Progressive Party, UPP, candidate Francis Liwunda from the KABWATA by-election. Speaking to the media Saturday, Dr. Musumali says the UPND is having challenges selling their candidate Andrew Tayengwa to the people of KABWATA and has opted to paying off Mr. Liwunda to withdraw from the race so that there can be fresh nominations. Dr. Musumali has since appealed to investigative bodies in the country to look into this matter with the urgency it deserves. More in the following report. Golden Party President Jackson Silabwe has advised the government not to be in a hurry to unbundle ZESCO the International Monetary Fund way. Mr. Silabwe says the government must instead call for an indawa over ZESCO, or that the president must appoint a commission of inquiry. Mr. Silabwe says ZESCO can run on profitability without IMF prescriptions if politics can be taken out. He adds that the last time the IMF intervened in the country's economic affairs, the country experienced unimaginable joblessness and poverty levels coupled with a high cost of living. You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, chew me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and uninterrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
It's your time to get to groove and step back to school in 2022 in magnificent style. Hurry to your nearest Bata store anywhere in Zambia and get a free Sparrow notebook for every pair of Bata school shoes you purchase. Promotion runs until the 31st of January 2022. Hurry while stocks last. T's and C's apply. Love and
your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. Chilubi Member of Parliament Mulenga Fube has called for heightened sensitization from relevant authorities on unsustainable modes of fishing, citing high depletion of fish in the area. In an interview, Mr. Fube notes that despite having adequate water, the fish population is fast disappearing, which is a cause for concern. He has further called for residents of Chilubi to be taught alternative sources of income, saying that fish farming is a main activity in the area.
I think economic activities, as I've said earlier, are mainly around agriculture because that's our mainstay, and followed by fishing. Because why I'm saying followed by fishing, fish deposits in Lake Bangor, especially in the swamps and many others, has gone a bit low. The species have gone a bit low. And I think there are other activities that people are venturing in is fish farming. There have been very bad methods of fishing. And I think we have not encountered a drought or climate-driven factor that would have caused that. But it's our methods of fishing that we need to revisit. You can do farming on the island, you can do farming in the swamps, you can do also farming in the mainland, the three parts.
Kamala Ward 5 Councillor Mainda Simata says plans are underway by the Lusaka City Council LCC to effect the requirement that all shops operating within the Central Business District CBD have a bin at their shops in an effort to avoid indiscriminate dumping of waste. He also says that the Keep Lusaka Clean campaign has fully kick-started after a lapse of 1 month, adding that it will run alongside the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign in a bid to have a localized campaign to promote local sanitation. He has also urged traders operating within the CBD to man themselves and apprehend anyone found dumping waste indiscriminately.
Engaging the marketeers and traders to be part of this Keep Lusaka Clean, Green and Healthy campaign because they are stakeholders. They also generate waste. So our policy is that everyone that generates waste must also participate in the cleaning. And I'm happy today that the marketeers in Kamala have fully participated in this program. So this is not going to be a one-off program. It's going to be a weekly program. Every week we are going to have a general cleaning exercise early in the morning for traders and shop owners to participate in the cleaning campaign. Further, we are going to issue a notice on Monday for each and every shop to have at least a bin set outside their premises so that we don't have indiscriminate dumping like the one which we are seeing here. So ultimately the issue of waste management is being dealt with. We are going to be engaging CBEs to help in the management of waste so that we don't have waste piling up. And for this particular garbage dump behind me, it has to be moved. It's going to be moved. We have already secured the location. It's going to be moved so that we don't have a refuse dump just in front of Zambif and other dealers or shops that deal in food handling.
Government says it has released 46,575,000 kwacha to the Ministry of Agriculture to combat army worms. The Ministry of Finance says the exercise will contribute to crop protection and food security countrywide. The ministry has assured that through relevant authorities, the government will continue to closely monitor the situation accordingly. Minister of Agriculture Ruben Mtolo-Piri had Wednesday, 5th January 2022, stated that the country has in the last 10 years been experiencing the outbreaks of the 4 army worm in 7 agricultural seasons. Mr. Piri said a total of 331 hectares has so far been affected by army worms in Mkoshi district of Central Province. The Southern African Interfaith Peace Mission has called on the church to help complement government efforts in the creation of jobs for the many youths in the country. Interfaith Mission Executive Director Howard Banda says the church has a very important role to play in contributing to the development of the country, which should not end on preaching the gospel alone. Mr. Banda says the reason why most youths in the country have opted to becoming cadres is because they are not empowered. He says the government is currently overwhelmed with a debt situation which affects everyone and should be helped by all well-meaning Zambians.
In regard to the youths, they are happening because they have not been empowered entrepreneurially and technopreneurially. In the sense that if we look closely to them, look at the cadres that were on the streets under the previous regime. They've got nothing to do because they were used in collecting levy illegally, which they're not entitled to. The cadres of today also want to repeat the same because they feel, say, if our friends were, getting these kinds of monies on the street, what about us? Why are we being restricted? How are we going to survive? So there should be a policy that the church should drive to support the government of the day, because the government won't do everything for anybody every time. There are times the government is just a policy directive organ where people will follow and do what they can do within those policies. So let the church also come on board to help the government of the day, because if we are going to be talking about government, a hatred, the hate spirit across the country won't fail us.
Socialist Party Vice President Dr. Cosmas Musumali has accused the United Party for National Development UPND of having engineered the withdrawal of United Progressive Party UPP candidate Francis Libunda from the KABWATA by-election. Speaking to the media Saturday, Dr. Musumali says the UPND is having challenges selling their candidate Andrew Tayengwa to the people of KABWATA constituency and has opted to paying off Mr. Libunda to withdraw from the race so that there can be fresh nominations. Dr. Misumali has since appealed to investigative bodies in the country to look into this matter with the urgency it deserves. More in the following report.
With only 12 days before the KABWATA by-elections can kick off, one candidate from the United Progressive Party, UPP, Francis Libunda, has decided to withdraw from the race, a situation that has attracted a lot of reactions from members of the public and stakeholders. The UPP candidate has cited various reasons for his withdrawal, among them accusing a certain political party of fielding in a candidate who does not qualify to stand as a member of parliament. Socialist Party Vice President Dr. Cosmas Musumali has however accused the United Party for National Development UPND of having engineered the withdrawal of Mr. Lubunda, citing that the UPND is having challenges selling their candidate Andrew Tiengwa in KABWATA constituency, who he says has been rejected.
And there are quite disturbing allegations involving the UPND in this whole process. And those allegations are that the UPND engineered this resignation because the UPND is having serious problems selling its candidate, and that they have lined up two candidates whose names we have been given to take over. So when it is postponed and it resumes, it won't be the same candidate that the people of KABWATA have rejected.
Dr. Musumali has since appealed to the investigative wings in the country to take interest in the matter.
Again, at this point, would appeal to the investigative agencies, to the Anti-Corruption Commission, would like to appeal to the police to get on this matter as quickly as possible. If these allegations are true, this is a crime being committed.
He adds that such a withdrawal is an abuse of Clause 52, Section 6 of the Zambian Constitution, and has appealed to the Electoral Commission of Zambia not to postpone the elections but allow the democracy of the country to prevail.
This clause was not meant for people that will come into the race and then resign, expecting that new elections are going to be held. Our appeal is to the ECZ, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, that this issue should be treated differently. The campaign should go on.
Meanwhile, the Patriotic Front has continued with its business of campaign in KABWATA constituency, where PF Information Chairperson Raphael Nakachinda has accused the UPND of having intentions of demolishing houses in favor of building a shopping mall in Mapuloti area of KABWATA constituency.
There is a plan to demolish all the houses in Mapuloti, those cabins. Misaka Inde Chilema has found friends who he wants to bring and build a mall there, displace the people and end up building a mall. This vote in KABWATA is a vote on behalf of the Zambian people. This is a vote to punish liars. This is a vote.
And efforts to get a comment from the UPND spokesperson Cornelius Muitwa over the two accusations proved futile by broadcast time as his phone was switched off.
There is no response from the requested number. There is no response from the requested number.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
This is Camnet TV and not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
For over 24 years now, we have constantly been working to ensure that we deliver products and services to communities, cities, nations, the continent, and the world at large, offering solutions in the energy sector, mining, telecommunications, health, transport, construction, cybersecurity, agriculture, and printing. Savenda has been at the core of it all in ensuring that it helps in bringing social and economic development to its loving people. We value your support, and as we look forward to the year ahead, would like to thank you for the support you have given us. The Savenda Group of Companies Board, Management and staff would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2022. Savenda, Save Nations, Develop Africa.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change
is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow! Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Hi there! SGK Properties wants to remind you that there will be life after the festivities. That's why we are here right now presenting you an opportunity to invest in what will literally last you a lifetime. We have various plot sizes in Kabangwe area, just 6.7 kilometers from 6 miles roundabout. Plot sizes range from 20 by 20s, 25 by 20s, 30 by 20s, 35 by 20s, 40 by 20s, 40 by 23s, and 40 by 35s. We also have 1 acre plots located in Lusaka West, 22 kilometers from Lumumba Road on Mungwi Road, going for 180,000 kwacha. Remember, the option to have your dream house or passive income investment property constructed for you with modern finishes and quality care is also available. For more details on acquiring these pieces, contact us on 0762 166018 or scan the QR code you see on the screen to access us on WhatsApp directly. SGK Group, serving generations through knowledge.
Welcome back. The Ethiopian government has announced it will pardon a number of high-profile political prisoners, including members of the Rebo Tigray People's Liberation Front. Officials in the capital, Addis Ababa, say it is time to promote national dialogue after more than a year of conflict in the north. Al Jazeera's Leah Harding reports. In other news, 3 white men have been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a black jogger in the U.S. state of Georgia. The judge said 2 of them, father and son Gregory and Travis McMichael, would spend a lifetime term without the possibility of parole. Ahmad Abari was hunted down while he was out for a run in a mostly white neighborhood in 2020.
A lull in fighting has made way for potential dialogue. The Ethiopian government is pardoning a number of high-profile political prisoners, including members of the rebel Tigray People's Liberation Front. The government has been fighting the TPLF for more than a year amid ethnic and tribal tension. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government says the pardon's purpose is to pave the way for a lasting solution to Ethiopia's problems in a peaceful, nonviolent way, especially with the aim of making the all-inclusive national dialogue a success. It was not immediately clear how many of those granted amnesty have been freed. The war in the north has claimed the lives of thousands of people and left hundreds of thousands more facing famine conditions in Tigray, which is under what the United Nations says is a de facto blockade. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomes the news of the pardon on Twitter, saying, "I will remain actively engaged in assisting Ethiopia to bring an end to the fighting and to restore peace and stability." The pardons coincide with Orthodox Christmas, a day widely celebrated by Christians in Ethiopia. It also overlaps with a visit by U.S. envoy Jeffrey Feltman, who is pushing for talks. The conflict has threatened to tear apart Africa's second most populous state and destabilize the Horn of Africa region. But can the Nobel Peace Prize winning Prime Minister negotiate a solution in his country divided by war?
This was the verdict Ahmed Abari's family had hoped for.
That is life plus 20.
Travis McMichael and his father Gregory given the maximum sentence for murdering 25-year-old Arbery after chasing him through a Georgia neighborhood in February of 2020. William Roddy Brown, who joined in the chase, was given a mandatory murder sentence of life imprisonment, but with the possibility of parole after 30 years. The judge said that he, unlike his co-defendants, had displayed some remorse. All three can appeal their sentences, but also face a federal hate crimes trial next month. Before the sentencing, members of Arbery's family made their case.
The man who killed my son has sat in this courtroom every single day next to his father. I'll never get that chance to sit next to my son ever again.
And Arbery's mother addressed her son directly.
I made a promise to you. Today I laid you to rest. I told you I love you, and someday, somehow, I will get you justice.
The presiding judge said he'd thought deeply about the case. He even paused in silence for a minute to suggest how long Arbery had been running in fear of his life before he was murdered.
A fraction of the time that Ahmaud Arbery was running in Satilla Shores.
And in rendering his verdict, the judge alluded to the racial fault lines of this community in the Deep South.
I argue that maybe a neighbor is more than the people who just own property around your house. I also believe that in assuming the worst in others, we show our worst character.
Outside the court, Arbery's mother thanked those who supported her family and made reference to one of the most shocking moments of the trial, when one of the prosecutors alleged her son was not a victim, but a criminal, quote, with no socks to cover his dirty toenails.
The long toenails that she brought up in her closing arguments, she failed to mention that Ahmaud was lying there in the middle of the road with a big hole in his chest.
Outside the court, there was celebration and accountability for the murder of a black man by white men in the South.
Too many of them still haven't gotten anybody arrested for killing their child. So this is about all of us saying, no more, no more.
But it should be remembered that in the aftermath of Arbery's killing, the police and local authorities did nothing, accepting the word of those now convicted of murder that Arbery had been up to no good. Only when video evidence was released weeks later did state authorities act.
It's now time for sports news. And in sports news, the Camnet Soccer Academy trials Saturday, 8th January 2022 saw 142 participants selected within the age range as required. The team of coaches held the trials at Kebolonga Boys Secondary School. The trial saw the selection of 61 young people between the age of 20 and 16 who will, in the next few weeks, start playing amateur soccer with the overall target of playing in the MTN Football Association of Zambia Super League. Camnet Soccer Academy assistant coach Few Days Musonda spoke to Camnet News after the trials.
We look to the Zambia Super League. This is probably the start of the second round. The game started yesterday. I think we need to see. I think the first round was tough because I think
the overwhelming and the crowd of players who came. I think we had 159 players who attended the trials, and the trials went in so well. We had a big challenge to pick this talent, which are wonderful talent of Zambian players, and we're actually happy and taken it was actually very happy, including our pastor who is a director and Mama Pastor, both directors. I think they enjoyed watching the trials. Number 159, we have picked 40 cream of players, which is high quality of players, because if you look at the number and you go to 40, it means you have taken very good players, although some of them they are very young, but they will be swatched into under 12.
Our parents who came out in numbers to support our children, it was so wonderful that the boys did very, very well. I'm very, very happy with my husband on the age group that turned up. I was particularly moved, I tell you, almost to tears, because we had a mother and a son who traveled all the way from Kapiri and Luansha. And thankfully, by the grace of God, the boy from Kapiri was picked, a very, very good player. I also want to take this great opportunity to thank all our sons who came. Even though they were not picked, they've got great talent. And we encourage them to continue. Probably in the next trials, we are going to pick them because we have got great, incredible talent in Zambia where soccer is concerned. And amazingly, even the girls came to support. They know that it will be December, but they came, which is so wonderful. So Zambia, we are a great nation. We're all born for greatness, and we cannot have it any better than we did today. So 8th of January has gone in history. Where Camnet Sport Academy is concerned, it's just a blessing, and God bless us, and thank you so much.
I'm coming from Kafue. Yeah, the performance was good. The coaches was fair. There's no corruption. They're not choosing where we're coming from. They're choosing from any different of angles. The coach was fair and the trial was just well. And the opponent was tough. Everyone was fit. I was ready for it.
Awesome. It was quite different because I stay far. We get to learn new things, meet some new people, and yeah, as it goes on, we'll learn a lot of things. Camnet, they have a vision, and we'll move with the vision.
On that sporting note, we come to the end of our Camnet news, but we'll take a look at the headlines once again. Doctors oppose voluntarism call from Minister of Health. Socialist Party accused the UPND of instigating the withdrawal of the UPP candidate in KABWATA. NDC says poaching party members from the alliance partners should not be condoned. And in international news, Ethiopia announces pardons for high-profile political prisoners. And in sports news, Camnet Sports Academy kicks off with over 60 lads selected. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from Matthew 18, verse 19 to 20. Again, I assure you, if two of you on earth agree about any matter that you pray for, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there among them. Thank you for watching Camnet News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.